they're rechargeable.
Oh, they're rechargeable.
Yeah.
Did you go to here live? I was
Yeah,
here.
that's where I went.
Well, you know, they didn't do me very good. They wouldn't make mine good.
What insurance do you have?
Hey! It's okay.
I had to pay for the ones I had.
Hello,
Well,
Cleo.
we're celebrating those twins' birthday Saturday.
Oh, really?
Be 3 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Down Durant, down that way.
Okay. So you heading down there for that? Are you heading down there for
Yeah,
that?
we'll go down Saturday.
Okay.
Kids
Well,
will take us.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
they take care of us.
yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
That is good. That's good.
Clarence is here, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
about that?
He's here. He doesn't have any conflicts.
Yeah, okay. Them little things are not about no bigger than that.
Yeah, that's what mine are too.
Do we have different things you can, I mean, different modes in?
I don't know, they're just rechargeable.
Well, I know, but they adjust to different sounds.
Oh, yeah,
That's what I said. Okay.
yeah, different things.
Well, you'll be able to hear everything, get it once you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll do it. That's right.
For that price. You know, I have a hard time hearing and understanding.
Where's your grandson live? Did you went to be with Christmas?
He lives in by Eureka Springs,
This where?
Eureka Springs, Arkansas.
Gold Springs, Arkansas.
Yeah. It's the next town over called Berryville.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we'll be going back over that way in March to
Our
visit.
kids got us a new TV for Christmas.
Oh, good. Have you been enjoying it?
But this is about a 50-inch, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you're enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah,
It sounds like a nice gift to me.
yeah. Nice gift. Nice gift. Yeah.
So where do your kids live?
Pardon? Our kids live over here on Clausen,
Classen?
down by Walmart, down that big
Oh.
addition where
Oh,
all
okay.
the big houses are.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Then the
Huh.
grandkids, they live down there at Durant.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're the ones with the twins?
Huh?
They have twins?
Yeah, boy and girl.
Okay.
Finally got a girl. We had all
And this
these
is
boys, but finally
this
got a
is
girl.
their third birthday?
Huh?
Third birthday?
Third birthday, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a great thing to celebrate.
Yep. It's gonna be good.
You
yeah.
bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I must be doing pretty good. I thought I would, well, I made about 2 or 3. Have a hard time chewing?
No, not really, yeah.
Okay, gosh, well.
Well, sir, you gonna ready to hear about exercise tonight?
That was our part of the party.
That's what we're gonna talk about.
I know.
It's good, it's what I need.
I hope I
Yeah.
have any
Yeah.
more problems.
Do you
Talk
ever
about
watch a video? It's called
You still
Flav
taking,
City.
Called what?
Flav City.
Flav?
Yeah, City.
Uh-uh.
It's a guy goes in. He goes into Costco. He goes into Aldi's. He goes into McDonald's.
What's he
He
do?
goes into Wendy's, letting you know what's healthy for you and what's not.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, and his name is Bobby. And
Yeah.
he was in McDonald's, and he had everything you could think of in McDonald's. He had a paper on everything you eat in there. The only thing that he came out good with was the quarter pounder, and he took one of the buns off. And he said that was the only thing in there that was healthy.
Without 2 buns,
Yeah.
just one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
And he tried the Big Macs, and then I caught him testing Wendy's today because he has a lot of videos on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I guess his name's Bobby, and he's got a scanner thing now.
It's not Bobby Flay, is it?
It might be the, yeah.
Well, now he's a cook,
Well, no,
not Bobby Flay.
I'm sorry, Roger.
Let's see, I could pull his little site, but he goes to all the stores, lets you know what's healthy and what's not. And I didn't know Costco had almond tortillas, almond flour tortillas.
Yeah.
He made enchiladas with.
Mine was
Yeah.
93.
So
Sounds good.
So we didn't know we had
And he was
that.
89.
Let's see
Wow.
if I can pull him up on, because I just had him on my Facebook. But he's got some video. He goes all over the place, and I guess he's out of Florida
In
too.
his 80s, I
He
forget
was at a
what.
Walmart in Florida, letting you know what to
Oh.
get him in Walmart to eat. He lets you know all the ingredients and what's not good for you. And then he was.
You're not talking about the grocery store, are you?
All the burgers.
And he went through that?
300.
Yeah.
Man, that must have been quite a
And
program.
then he tells you that, like David, I use Harry deodorant.
Yeah, these are all
And the other day he said it's no good for you. He was reading chemicals on Harry's that's not good for the body.
But he wasn't.
What kind of
But the
deodorant?
red stuff
It's
was.
Harry's.
Oh.
Yeah, I had David, but I think I'm
Yeah.
going to switch now because it's got some things in there. It
Yeah,
causes
I thought a lot of
hormonal
your
change
family,
or
they
something,
was-
something with the skin.
Chuck
He was
and
reading
Warren.
on the
I
ingredients.
remember Warren real well.
Nadine, Beehive,
See, I gotta find him for you because I just
They
have
have
him up
all
here. I
the-
watch
all
him
the
all the
big
time. Going in
Walnut.
stores and
Well, it
like,
sounds like you're watching him.
my kids told me don't watch any media.
Welch.
But he has a lot of, you know, he goes and lets you know what's healthy for you to eat. And he's actually keto too. So
He promotes keto.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think that Roger.
Well, I'm surprised you had that one bun left on the
Today it's
hamburger.
called Fave City,
But your parents lived
F-O-V
over.
City, and his
Well, my
name's
dad,
Bobby.
He was 80.
He said, look at Bobby.
F-
on-
What is it? F-O?
Yeah,
V?
uh-huh.
City?
Yeah.
Is it all one word?
Yeah,
I mean,
or two words.
Two words.
Okay.
And then his name's Bobby.
Okay.
And he said you can go on the Play Store
Bird was 89.
and download his app, and it has a scanner, so everything you buy at the
Oh,
store
it
will let you
was.
know if it's healthy for you or not.
Have you done that?
I haven't done that yet, but I'm getting ready to,
Okay.
because
Yep.
he, you
They're
know,
all
he's going all over the
Sure.
place, and I'm like, okay, this is a good way to find out what you
Sounds
what you
interesting.
get, you know?
Huh?
Sounds interesting. I'll have to look at
I'll
that.
have to see if I can
Oh,
pull
yeah,
him up when
because-
I'm here.
Yeah.
I watch him through the
He's the one that
day.
does my
Yeah.
work.
no,
At least for the Fort County, the McDonald's is okay.
If you take off a bun,
Yeah.
you got too many carbs.
Yeah, he said take off the bun and take off the ketchup.
No, they're all gone.
That's what he said.
That's what I would ask.
Is the
That's
mustard
exactly
in
what
the
I would
pick-
do.
mustard in the
$3
pickle?
dollars.
Yeah.
And he said
Does
Big
that
Mac-
sound good?
And he
Five
said
acres
Big
there,
Mac
got
has
built
more
house on
sugars in
my
it
land.
with the sauces. He said Big Mac is
you
no
you
good.
have a lot of land over there, don't you?
That's what he
40
said. He had
acres.
too much sugar.
Did he include
And then-
breakfast food in it or just
He said
Whatever
the
they were
Egg
offering?
McMuffin was
I read
okay.
it out.
Oh,
That
you
was
did
the
that.
one.
Hey,
And then
That's
the
what
he
you
said
chicken,
to take the sausage out.
the chicken sandwich, yeah. The chicken sandwich they have, he said it has
We don't-
MSG
we
in
don't
it.
start raining.
Yeah, that's
I
what?
know,
It's called MS.
but
I can't
that's a long
pronounce it,
time
but
Okay.
off, but
Yeah,
I
there's
think
something
it'll
bad in
well
it,
next
and
week.
the chicken sandwich is no
But
good.
snow too.
Okay.
He said chicken nuggets are okay,
I'm
but
afraid
without
we're
the
in for it
sauce.
in February.
So,
Yeah, it could be, Roger.
so he kind of
said
went
he
through
was,
stuff.
Devil Flea water.
Yeah. And then he said Subway is healthy.
Yep.
if you don't
And
eat too much
and
bread?
He said the pita bread, that thin pita bread they have,
Yeah.
is very healthy. He said that's the healthiest bread in there in Subway.
Yeah, they had.
And he said
wheat
with
bread
all the
too.
vegetables and everything, so he said Subway is a healthy place.
Yeah,
to
load
live.
it up with vegetables.
Yeah.
Your sandwich.
You can also get vegetarian.
So he
sandwich.
did said okay
Yeah.
with Subway.
Yeah, I think you need protein.
No, no,
Yeah.
corn, no.
Protein. You need protein.
Just go.
Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta have a little,
Yeah, you gotta have some
Yeah.
protein
even though we
so you have
grew up-
muscle loss. You don't want
Yeah.
muscle
Right,
loss.
Yes.
That's the only
So-
because we
one I
grew up vegetarian, that's why she,
Oh,
got. Time to pay
Okay.
insurance.
that's the
to
crazy
take.
part, but you gotta have
Yeah.
a little
That car ours
protein.
is
Yeah.
a good car, Roger. It gets
Uh,
about 42.
a lot of protein.
Out on
A lot.
the-
But you gotta pick the protein.
It's a
Yeah.
high-
Not a bunch
Well,
of
I'd rather
fatty.
have beans.
Except for, they need to,
I don't even want to eat meat anymore. But I like beans.
Next one
Beans
I'm
make
buying,
me
I'm
feel
thinking
good.
about
Good.
one of those electric
Yeah.
cars.
we need our egg prices to go down.
Do you eat eggs? Do you eat eggs?
And
Yeah,
that's
she
what
eats
I
eggs.
know.
Okay, that's good protein. Very good protein.
Others not either.
Yeah, I know.
Mine wasn't either.
My wife, she laid up, she, got up.
Your
took
wife
a
is?
shower- Took a shower,
Yeah.
and twisted just right. This right hip been bothering ever since.
Yeah?
And I had a doctor's appointment the other day, and she fell while she's up there and got stitches in her right knee now.
Oh, wow.
Ah,
Wow.
terrible time.
Wow. So how's she today? How's she doing today? How is she today?
Well, she's still kind of hurting.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
got to go to church last Sunday and doing pretty good. Then
Yeah.
she had to go fall.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I'm sure she didn't do it intentionally.
yeah, she didn't. Oh,
Yeah. No way. No way.
yeah.
How long you got his room on your house? It ain't gonna leak for a while. Not unless it's up and knocks a hole in it.
Yeah.
Ken, you been feeling
Here
okay?
it is.
Yeah.
Okay, Ken.
Oh, yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah, pretty good.
Here he is.
I mean, if you want
You
to
see him right here?
Right.
Flav City.
Oh, okay.
I got
Yeah,
four.
Flav.
Flav
Flav.
City. Yeah.
Yeah.
So look him up. He's this show video there. He's at
Yeah, I'll watch
he's
that.
at Taco Bell.
Yeah, I'll watch that. That
He
looks
is-
good.
He is.
I'll check that out.
I go to a
Yeah.
skin doctor.
And he's got
Skin doctor, eye doctor,
3,900
foot doctor.
followers.
Well, I don't go to no foot doctor.
Yeah.
My feet are doing okay.
3,900,000 or?
Yeah, it's a lot of 3.7. See all the people that are following him?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's all you need.
See, he's
That is,
he's in Taco Bell.
yeah. I'll take a look at that.
Yep.
Yeah, I just went to the doctor.
Huh?
I just went to my diabetic doctor,
Yeah.
Okay.
and I had a 6.1 for my last A1C.
Well, it's good.
Yeah.
But you know, my brother, he's been taking this, I always tell you, it's yeast rice.
Yeah.
And he's a pre-diabetic, his is staying a 5,
Okay.
over a 5. So that's good.
If you're 5.6 or above, you're pre-diabetic. So
Yeah.
he's normal.
I'm hoping it might have dropped below
Yeah.
a 6. That'd be good on me.
Well, I'll tell you what, don't eat a snack before you go to bed.
Don't eat a snack.
Do not eat a snack before you go to bed. That'll make the big
You know what
difference.
I eat tonight? All I eat every night, I eat a apple and an orange and drink a glass of milk, and that's about all I do at night.
Well, don't be doing that before you go to bed.
Yeah.
That'll
Yeah.
drive up your blood sugars.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. In the mornings, though, mine's been pretty good.
Don't eat that stuff.
Okay.
That'll drive up the blood sugar. There's Mark.
Hey, Daddy.
We've been waiting for you, Mark.
All right.
I don't know if anyone else is coming or not, but we've still got 6 minutes according to my watch.
That's enough.
I'm going to give you the full load
Yeah.
because I'm recording it.
Okay.
Yeah? You been doing okay?
Doing good?
Okay,
Yeah.
good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, feeling good today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's your wife doing today? Is she doing okay?
Better than she had been. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she's older than you.
Well, she is. In fact,
Couple of years, isn't it?
3.
Oh, is it 3? Okay.
3 years.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good.
She married a younger man.
Yeah. You can always say that. She
Yeah.
married the younger man. You bet. Bet. Well, good to see you tonight, Mark.
Thank you, kid.
Yeah. We've got a handful of people out here.
And, they put on a 5-day quarantine, and he's okay now, You can have hope, you can have hope. I guess you're blessed, aren't we?
I don't believe in COVID anyway.
Well,
I think that's just a, come on.
Ken, I hope my blood work turns out good.
Have you had it checked?
I had it done Tuesday.
Okay.
I hope it comes back because I was at 6.5. I take the last left. I hope I don't have no fatty liver.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see where it comes back.
I think it's a COVID.
But I guess 6.1 and 6.5 is not too bad.
It is, that's all it is. I want to get money out of people. I think COVID.
Well, you're
That's
gonna-
a dangerous sugar level that you have to really watch because
I know I've been.
sometimes it could be like
Everybody
143,
thinks they got
it could be
COVID, but they don't
145,
believe that.
sometimes a
I
139.
don't believe in that at all.
Sometimes I could have a 126.
Okay. Well, none of those are real bad.
Yeah, because the doctors make it seem like it's bad. That's why they put me on the metformin.
Yeah.
have spoken to you before. Yeah.
But I guess I'm okay as long as it
Yeah.
don't get up any higher than, the 150s.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my home.
But you're doing some fasting, aren't you?
I go up there.
Yeah,
That'll
me and David have been doing it
that'll make a difference.
These relatives and stuff.
because it's
That's
not good
probably-
to eat after 6 o'clock
Yeah,
anyway. You
yeah.
shouldn't be eating nothing before you go to bed. Gotta
Yeah.
give the body a rest.
I don't
That's
like
right.
to eat after 5 o'clock.
You don't eat after
I don't
5?
like to eat after 5.
Oh, that's good. If you don't like to,
Before
And
that.
that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
this one Indian guy that I
Well, I guess
watch
I
on my
have friends here
Facebook,
now.
he
Yeah.
eats once a day. He doesn't eat till 4:30 to 5. So I don't know how
Do you know what?
somebody could survive like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's a healthy guy from India.
Yeah.
And, he kind of eats once a day. But that would be hard for us because grew up having 3 meals a day. Now we're kind of shrinking it down a little bit. So
Shrink it down to 2.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'd shrink it down to
Noon
1.
and
It'd
evening.
be better. But
Yeah.
we sometimes need that little energy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I've been learning to make lentil soup.
Good.
And that's the only thing that really lasts for 7 days. So
I don't like Norman anymore. I mean, shoot. A lot of,
I'm gonna walk out here and look and see if anyone's coming. If they
where's all our
don't,
people at?
well, I don't know.
They having a hard time driving in the dark, maybe?
Maybe someone just walked in. We'll see who it is.
Yeah, go away.
Well, is this us?
This may be it. Oh no, it's not it. We've got the West. Yeah. Good. You guys always get here on time. Just on time. Yeah. Sure. Come on up.
Say hi to her.
Hi. Okay. I thought, and who is this person?
That's my mom. I can't get her here sometimes, so. I'm staying warm. It's cold outside.
I haven't seen y'all.
Yep, we got some snow coming, snow week.
I haven't seen Ken in a while either.
Well, I've been here, Clarence.
Are you sure?
I've been here.
Well, I was sick, my wife was sick here a while back. You know what? We both had allergies real bad. I get these allergies real bad when it gets dry weather sometimes.
Is it cedar pollen what gets you, or?
Yeah, I think it's cedar pollen, I think.
It's, I know.
Well, I think that we have about 10 of us here, and so I'm going to give everyone the full load tonight because I'm recording this. And then I'm going to make these little videos. Did anyone see any of them?
I watched it.
Yeah.
I've seen a few of them.
Okay. Well, I've had some that have been viewed over 400 times, and several in the 300s, several in the 200s, several in the 100s, and then there's some that aren't, that are less than that. But anyway, this is going to be about exercise tonight. So it's thrilling. We love it. So here we go. My goal with this seminar is to make those life changes easier. The wisdom of the prudent is to give thought to their ways, but the folly of fools is deception. I want to give you wise thoughts for your health and well-being. And here's some wise thoughts that come from God's wisdom. They are life to those who find them and health to one's whole body. And here's an example. The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. And here's some plans. Walk, lift weights, eat vegetables and eggs, count carbs, check blood glucose, drink plenty of water, get a good night's sleep, fast, and be thankful. Someone said, "You've got to be kidding." No, I'm not kidding. This is a good plan to fight our war against diabetes. And so plans are important. For example, have you ever locked your car and then found your keys in the car? Yeah, sitting there on the seat. I read this news headline. Texas police make odd withdrawal from ATM. A man who was trapped inside. A contractor who was changing the lock on the service room of an ATM realized he had locked himself in the room. Plus, he couldn't call anyone because he had left his phone in his truck. And so he became innovative. And each time that someone would receive a receipt at the ATM, they would also receive a handwritten note saying, "Please help. I'm stuck in here and I don't have my phone. Please call my boss at so-and-so number." Well, he did this for 2 hours. And finally, someone took him serious and called the police. They broke the door down, freed the desperate man, and the police officer said, "We have a once-in-a-lifetime situation that you'll probably never see or hear about again." And I've only seen one of these. So we need a plan. Planning to move often is good news for blood glucose control. Getting out of our chairs and leisurely walking for a couple of minutes every 30 minutes can make the difference. When is the best time to exercise during the day? Well, it's after you eat. That's the best time. Do you enjoy exercising? We need to plan to exercise or move more instead of sitting so much during each day. For example, someone said that I don't like to walk or exercise, or they make grimace when they hear the word exercise or move. Many others say the same thing. Here is an example of people having fun with yoga exercise. And I don't do yoga exercise. I walk my dog, which is fun. So yes, try to make exercise fun, like this woman walking her Boston Terriers. Now she had to plan that. She's got to be motivated to do that, but she's doing it and she likes it. Here is a man, 99 years old, walking to the hospital because his wife is there. He loves his wife. They've been married for 55 years, and he doesn't want to have her there by herself. And so she's been diagnosed with a brain tumor. She's been in and out of the hospital for several months. He's at her bedside because that's where he feels like he belongs. On one occasion, a reporter walked with him, and as he got closer to the hospital, he picked up his pace, and he had a hard time trying to keep up with him. He loves his wife, and that gives him the willpower to walk, no matter what the weather is. So he's walking. It's not just because he loves her, but also because she loves him. And so you can see that there's two ways that we can take in this life. There's the strong path, and there's also the frail trail. And the authors of the book, Choosing the Strong Path, they write this: inactivity begets more inactivity. And this in turn reduces fitness and makes being active even more difficult, so that activity levels decrease further, and on and on. as less activity drives more weakness, which drives less fitness in a vicious declining spiral. And so we need to take the strong path. My wife and I celebrated our 45th wedding anniversary and went to Sulphur when we did. We walked a scenic path and we saw some scenery that was just wonderful, like this. As we walked along, we could see this creek. It was beautiful. And I'm thinking we were able to walk like this down that path. Can you imagine doing anything better on your anniversary than walking 6 miles? It was just wonderful. So a good person gives life to others. The wise person teaches others how to live. Well, how do you live? Well, here's an example. Go to the ant, consider its ways, and be wise. Go to the ant. What do we see them doing here? They're moving, lifting, working together, getting nourishment, and taking food back to the colony to store for the future. Just think of their characteristics. Ants take the initiative. They are persistent. They don't let obstacles get in the way. They are always on the move, industrious, moving, saving, storing. They are not sitting at any time, really. You don't see any couch potato ants. But of course, there are so many advantages that come from moving. And here are some of them right here. Weight loss, blood glucose control, and blood pressure control. Let's start with weight loss. Mona had some unreasonable expectations. She had had diabetes for about 15 years. She was 350 pounds, and she knew that she needed to lose weight. She needed to walk 3 to 5 miles per day, but she just couldn't do it. So her ideal was to walk down to the mailbox, sit down, rest, then come back to the house. She told her doctor about it, and he said it's physiologically silly. It will do nothing for you. But she got into habit to doing that, and by several weeks she was at the corner, and then she was eventually around the block, and she was doing her 3 miles a day at the end of a year. She got in the habit. Used to have a guy named Raymond that would come to the diabetes support groups. He weighed 460 pounds at one time, but he lost 180 pounds. And he did that with the assistance of walking. So he started small, like Mona. He worked his way up to walking about 3 miles in the morning, 3 miles in the evening. And Raymond was a vital member of the diabetes support group here. He moved from Noble to the southern part of Oklahoma. He was probably doing about 15,000 steps a day when he moved. And it's not what you weigh, but it's where you weigh. There was a 6-month study of 464 women, and they just walked for 10 minutes a day. And they ended up losing 2 inches around their waistlines. They didn't necessarily lose any weight, but they lost 2 inches around their waistlines. And why is that important? Because that is visceral abdominal fat. And what does that kind of fat do? Here's what it does. This fat increases insulin resistance, glucose intolerance, lowers your good cholesterol, elevates triglycerides, and contributes to hypertension. And so it's good to cut back on that. Calorie restriction or movement. Which way is the best to get rid of it? Well, increased movement more effectively reduces the volume of visceral fat. And here are some wise biblical instructions and an example concerning movement. From the fruit of their lips, people are filled with good things, and the work of their hands brings them reward. All hard work pays off, but if all you do is talk, you will be poor. So here's an example of Ruth, David's great-grandmother. She's working with her hands, and she went out, entered a field, and began to glean behind the harvesters. Let me go to the fields and pick up the leftover grain behind anyone in whose eyes I find favor. Naomi said to her, "Go ahead, my daughter." So she went out, entered a field, and began to glean behind the harvesters. She was working with her hands. Wonderful. Here is an example of 100 Amish men and women who participated in research, and the researchers discovered a high level of physical activity. The Amish men reported doing an average of 10 hours of vigorous work and about 43 hours of moderate work per week. The women reported doing 3.5 hours of vigorous work and another 39 hours of moderate work per week. And so the men, how many steps did they walk? Over 18,000 a day. The women, over 14,000 a day. They ate generous servings of what kind of foods? Well, bacon, eggs, apple pie, for example. The obesity level among the general population is about 25%. Among the Amish, it is only 4%. And so it's because of their practicing this proverb, from the fruit of their lips, people are filled with good things, and the work of their hands brings them reward. It was the work of their hands working vigorously. Diet and lifestyle tips to reverse fatty liver disease from WebMD. Here's what they say. Aerobic exercise can actually cut the amount of fat in your liver. A heavy workout may also lower inflammation. Resistance or strength training exercises like weightlifting can also improve fatty liver disease. And fasting is an even more effective way to lose too much fat in the liver. And so have you ever looked at a all-you-can-eat buffet? Some people have buttons popping out just by looking at it. But how is it that we can actually practice it and get by without gaining weight? Well, there was 1,000 extra calories per day for 8 weeks, a study that was done at the Mayo Clinic. An extra 56,000 calories equals a gain of 16 pounds. But they conducted this, and each person should have gained about 16 pounds, but what were the results? Well, Ethan didn't hardly gain anything. One lady gained almost 14 pounds, and everyone else was in between those two. So how could some people gain very little weight or practically none? Where were all those extra calories going? They had to be shedding all those calories just through daily life, but how? And so how did Ethan not gain weight in this Mayo Clinic study? Well, was he sneaking in exercise, doing a marathon each night? He didn't even realize it, but he started moving more. Instead of driving his son to the bus stop, he started walking him to the bus stop. Instead of just sitting in the soccer benches, he paced up and down the sidelines. He even got up out of bed in the middle of the night, and he rearranged or adjusted the drapes or shut the window. He didn't even remember doing those things, but his wife remembers him getting up for some strange reason in the middle of the night. Those who gained weight sat 2.5 hours a day longer than those who didn't. And so what's the lesson here? We aren't plants. We can move. And so those who didn't gain weight in this Mayo overfeeding study, they responded by spontaneously moving more. Well, how do you use your time? Watching TV? Sitting and eating? Eating out? Eating takeout? Taking the stairs? Or the elevator? Small little activities can make the difference. All kinds of small little activities. If we're moving, like parking your car, not next to the front entrance, but a distance away, so you have to walk to the entrance to start with. Mowing the lawn, standing, walking, all of those make the difference in weight control. And so what's another advantage to movement? Blood glucose control is another advantage. There was a study done at the University of Leicester, located about 100 miles northwest of London, shows the advantages of moving for blood glucose control. And here it is. There were 22 overweight or obese women who were at risk for type 2 diabetes. They were the participants. And the women were assigned to the following conditions: sitting continuously for 7.5 hours, or sitting that was broken up by either standing or walking for 5 minutes every 30 minutes. And so what were the results? Well, standing led to a 34% lower rise in blood sugar. Walking ended up being a 28% reduction in the rise of blood sugar. And insulin levels were decreased by 20%. And so, when is the best time to move? Well, it's after meals. What are the benefits of moving after you eat? Well, this research was reported by Dr. James Levine of the Mayo Clinic, and he gives us this result. He says that if people sit after a meal, their blood sugar peaks like a mountain for about 2 hours. If, however, people take a leisure 15-minute walk at 1 mile per hour after a meal, the mountains become safe, gentle, rolling hills with a 1 mile per hour walk after a meal. Blood sugar peaks are halved. So let's suppose that you go up by 80 points after you meal. It was half, just 40 points after a 15-minute leisure walk. Here's another research done from Australia. Blood glucose levels tend to spike during periods of inactivity. And so what office employees did, they took a short, light exercise break every 20 minutes, and they enjoyed a 30% reduction in blood glucose levels. And so here's another one. The best time to walk or to move is throughout the day. And this shows the value of walking 10,000 steps per day. When to move is a couple of minutes every 30 minutes throughout the day, and the value of walking these 10,000 steps. Walking throughout the day has a good effect on blood sugar levels. And so here we are walking in London down Oxford Street. Sedentary people in the U.S., they generally move about 2,000 to 3,000 steps a day. In one study, healthy older adults who were 69 years old or older took about 6,600 steps per day, with almost 3,000 of those steps being programmed, structured, so they would walk 1.5 miles a day. It was planned. Research indicates that 10,000 steps or more per day is beneficial to health. For example, one research study with hypertensive patients walking 10,000 steps per day lowered their blood pressure, increased exercise capacity, and reduced the sympathetic nerve activity, the flight or fight response, the stress response. The sympathetic nerve system accelerates the heart rate, constricts blood vessels, and raises blood pressure, and this lowering was not dependent on the intensity of the exercise or the duration. It's just periodically walking throughout the day. And so again, we're in London, we're walking down Oxford Street, and in a University of Missouri study, the researchers evaluated the effect of inactivity on blood glucose levels among volunteers who usually exercise at the level recommended by the American Heart Association, and that's 10,000 steps daily. They mainly wanted to see how physical activity affects after-meal blood glucose levels. And the volunteers fitted with monitoring devices were told to go about their 3-day routine, taking their usual walks and exercise. And the researchers found that at 10,000 steps per day level, the volunteers' blood glucose levels did not spike after meals. But the researchers asked the volunteers to cut their daily steps to below 5,000 while eating their regular diet. And the volunteers also rode rather than walked wherever possible. And after the 3 days of relative inactivity, their after-meal blood sugar levels spiked an average of 26% higher than the levels recorded during the more active 3-day period. The researchers also found that the blood sugar spikes rose slightly higher for each day of inactivity. However, once the volunteers resumed their 10,000 steps a day routine, their blood sugar levels quickly dropped. And so here is a book that I've really enjoyed reading, Diabetes and Keeping Fit by Dr. Sherry R. Colbert. She's got type 1 diabetes also. She is a world-renowned diabetes motion expert. And she writes that exercising regularly is likely the single most important thing you can do to keep your blood glucose in check, prevent or reduce your risk of developing diabetes-related or other health complications, and slow down aging. Exercise can help you build muscle and lose body fat, suppress your appetite, eat more without gaining fat weight, and enhance your mood, reduce stress and anxiety, increase your energy, bolster your immune system, keep your joints and muscles more flexible, and improve the quality of your life. All this and more, especially when you have diabetes. I wish that guy would be quiet. So in the book, Dr. Colbert writes that when the muscles are active during exercise, insulin isn't required to start this reaction that is starting a transport of glucose across the cell membrane. Exercise, that is the muscle contractions themselves, triggers an alternate pathway that gets glucose from the blood into active muscle without using insulin at all. The pathway is called the GLUT4 glucose transporters. And here's an example of it. The pathway is shown here. Your muscles can continue to bring in more glucose via these GLUT4 glucose transporters without insulin initially for a period of time after exercise. That helps you lower blood glucose naturally and last as long as your muscles are replenishing their carbohydrate, their glycogen stores. Several hours after exercise ends, insulin is back to being the main way to lower blood glucose, but its action is more effective than it was before you worked out. And so, God's design of the body, just think of your muscles like a gas tank in your car, but in the body, it's a glucose tank. With muscle contractions, exercise, insulin sensitivity increases like miles per gallon in a car. Muscle contractions make your insulin more effective, needing less to get the job done. Your body, with insulin, becomes more efficient like gas in your car that got 29 miles per gallon, but now it gets 42 miles per gallon. It just makes your insulin more effective. Exercise. Much of the age-related decline in muscle mass can be halted with and even reversed by strength training. So what's that? Well, using dumbbells. Here's a lateral raise. Here's an example of dumbbell squats, just up and down for your lower body. Here are dumbbell curls for the biceps, for your front muscles. Here is a trunk crunch or curl for your abdominal muscles. Here's one for your shoulder muscles, the dumbbell bench press. And here's one for your triceps, the back part of your arm, the dumbbell overhead triceps extension. And you just use a small weight to do this, not a heavy weight. More than 21,000 moves designed to build muscle, increase strength, and burn fat are illustrated in the Ultimate Dumbbell Exercises. Of course, I've got this book, and I've used it. The University of Ottawa, 22-week study with 251 patients aged 39 to 70 with type 2 diabetes. What did they discover? Well, they divided these 251 people into 3 groups, or 4 groups, that is. An aerobic exercise, 45 minutes 3 times a week, or weight training, 45 minutes 3 times a week, or a combination of aerobic and weight training for 45 minutes 3 times a week. And then the other group, no exercise. So what happened to their A1C levels? Well, they reduced by almost a half a point, the aerobics group. Those who were lifting weights reduced by 0.38. Now, combination would be 0.89, wouldn't it? Did I get my arithmetic right? But when they combined the two, it reduced them by almost 1 point. 0.9. There was a synergetic effect in all of that. And of course, the no exercise group, they didn't reduce their blood sugars at all. So a combination is the best method to take for blood glucose control and fitness. So here's another advantage to movement. Blood pressure control. What are the advantages of movement for blood pressure control? The walking trick that lowers blood pressure. There was 106 healthy but sedentary civil servants. They participated in a blood pressure research walking study for 12 weeks. And this is the results. They combined 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week was one group. Another group, 30 minutes per day, 3 times a week. And the third group, no walking group at all. There. What was the difference? Well, this is what they discovered. That the top number, the 5 times a week, dropped by 6 points, and they lost over an inch around the waist in this 12-week period. The 3 times a week group, it dropped by 5 points, the top number, and the waist almost an inch. So you can see there's a little bit of difference there when you do it more. But here's another result for blood pressure. The Healthy Lifestyles Research Center in Arizona State University, research indicates to move or even just stand up can lower blood pressure. And so they discovered that 3 10-minute walks per day improved blood pressure more than just 1 30-minute walk. Just getting up and standing for 10 minutes per hour lowered blood pressure. And so here it is. This Ed, he's in a study involving diabetes and the lack of exercise, and he's in this remote control group. But what are they doing that's good? They're standing, and that's good. And so here's more research about the importance of standing up more. Simply getting out of your chair every half hour or so and strolling around for a couple of minutes can reap big benefits. Breaking up prolonged sitting reduces after eating glucose levels and insulin responses, according to research. Plus, cholesterol and triglyceride levels improve. The levels of lipoprotein lipase, an enzyme that aids in the breakdown of fat in the bloodstream, it also improves. When you stand up, gravity pulls your blood toward your feet, and your heart must pump hard against gravity to send blood back up to your head. And that's according to Dr. Joan Vernikos in her book, Sitting Kills, Moving Heals. From her research at NASA, she says this: the chief habit, if you do nothing else after reading this book, Sitting Kills, Moving Heals, this is the single most important habit that you can acquire. The key is to independence in old age is being able to stand up. Standing up, raise your weight out of the chair slowly and repeat it many times throughout the day. And the blood pressure regulation research indicates it takes at least 32 posture changes from sitting to standing for healthy blood pressure regulation. 32 times. Consider 32 your lowest goal. More will not hurt you, though less may produce less of the desired effects. Get up often. Create opportunities to get up often. Create these opportunities within waking hours to limit sitting time. I've got to take a break here. Blood sugar's up a little bit. My pump was telling me. This is that person standing up 16 times a day, once every hour, except during 8 hours of sleep, turned out to be consistently more effective than walking 16 times a day every hour for the same amount of time. I was as surprised as you might be at a dinner of the International Academy of Astronauts. I was honored with the award for my book, The 3G Connection, Harness Gravity and Reverse Aging. After receiving it, I made my way back to my table in the dimmed lights when I was stopped by someone who asked, "What is your book about?" "How to stay young and healthy as long as you live," I answered. "Oh yes, well how?" Stupidly, because I had not noticed that he was in a wheelchair, I said, "Stand up every 30 minutes," and went briskly on back to my table. A young man at the table said, "Do you know who that was?" No, I didn't know. That was George Mueller, the Apollo project manager. And he's 92 years old at that time. And so for anyone who knows their space history, as I certainly should, given my many years of working at NASA, they might remember that a very young George Mueller was known as Mr. Apollo. And when he was Apollo project manager, I was humbled and felt like I could have been more considerate and forthcoming, but I soon forgot about the incident. And 3 months later, I got a call from the young man at our table. I wanted to tell you a remarkable story. We were invited to the Muellers for dinner, rang the doorbell, and in our amazement, George answered and proceeded to serve drinks. No wheelchair, at least in their home. On this asking Mrs. Mueller how come, the young man told me that she replied he did it all by himself. Did what? He stood up every 30 minutes. Just like she suggested. The 99-year-old uncle, Nicholas, of this woman, was crossing the street when he was hit by a car that jumped a red light. His femur in his upper leg was broken, but fortunately not his hip. He called me from the hospital bed and he asked what he should do. And my first reaction was to him to get out of that hospital as soon as you can. And then realistically, I suggested that every 30 minutes he should sit up with his legs hanging over the side of the bed, then lie down again after a minute or two. Then once he was back home again, I advised him to stand up once every 30 minutes. And he did get out of the hospital. He got out of the hospital the next day and he followed my prescription. And to the amazement of the orthopedic surgeon, his bone healed in 2 weeks. So we need to be motivated to do all this. We can be motivated through loved ones and through timeless wisdom. Let me give you an example of being motivated through loved ones. Picture yourself running a marathon, riding a bicycle 112 miles and swimming 2.5 miles. Winners in Ironman triathlon races that accomplish all of this in less than 14 hours. Endurance is needed. No one would doubt Ironman competition is very difficult. It's named Ironman not because competitors wear iron suits, but because the event is hard like iron. Ironman triathlons require willpower. Without training, competing in this competition would be dangerous and ill-advised. We can imagine riding a bicycle around a few blocks of our neighborhood, but for 112 miles, come on. The willpower of some people is incredible, which brings me to an example of 39-year-old Jay Hewitt. Not only did Jay train and compete in this event, but he did so while battling brain cancer. He first saw an Ironman race in 1989 and couldn't believe they're superhuman. And when his daughter was born, he wanted to show her that she could do unbelievable things. and he would compete when she turned 10. But he started his training early when his daughter was only 3. On that day in 2018, when he was diagnosed with brain cancer, he started his training. And last year his finishing time was 13 hours and 40 minutes. This accomplishment came after 2 brain surgeries, 30 radiation sessions, a year of chemo. His performance did not just happen, he had a great deal of motivation. Last year, because of the COVID-19, athletes could make their own virtual courses, and Jay set his finish line in front of his house. And so when he came around the corner, determined to reach the finish line, he could see his home with his daughter and wife and hundreds of others cheering him toward the finish line. And he said, my daughter and my wife were holding the tape, so I just zeroed in on them thinking, I'm coming home. I didn't have much energy, but I kissed my wife and got down on my knees to say to my daughter and hero, if I can do it, you can do it. Dream big and never give up on your hopes. And so in this scene, we see the motivation that gave him his willpower, his family. We may not be able to compete in Ironman triathlon races, but we can do in interval or picking up the pace briefly training. And what are its benefits? You just pick up the pace for a few seconds, then you go back to what your former pace was. Well, the benefits are burning more fat and glucose, improving blood glucose control, and strengthening the heart and extending the calorie burning power of muscles after workouts by just doing that, picking up the pace for a few seconds as you take your walk. What else do we have that we can all use? Timeless wisdom. That is another motivation that we all have. It's called God's wisdom, and God shows how much He cares about us through His wisdom. Solomon wrote this about God's wisdom. He said, for the Lord gives wisdom. He holds victory or success in store for the upright. He is a shield to those whose walk is blameless. He says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And so we look at these high-rise window washers and think of trust when you see these safety belts. Trust is the first word that we read in Proverbs 3:5. Trust is a concept that includes the idea of safety, confidence, and security. Think of the security of this wisdom as the safety belts these window washers are using. Fatal danger awaits them if they don't stay attached. Staying attached to the principles of God's wisdom brings safety, confidence, and better health. And here's an example of one. Go to the ant, consider its ways, and be wise. And there you have it. Wow. I thought that was going to take me an hour. But I went through it quickly. Now, did anyone have any thoughts, any example that comes to your mind, or a question, or let me ask, how are you doing with all this? Do you think about standing up during the day?
That was very practical presentation.
Yeah. Just to stand up. You get great benefits from that, just standing up. And then walking. I like the idea of blood pressure control, not walking once for 30 minutes, but 3 times at 10 minutes each time, you get better blood pressure readings from that. And by the way, my blood pressure is now a little bit elevated, and I'm almost to the point of getting some pills. I want to do everything I can to prevent that, but we'll see what happens. Just a little bit elevated, but enough to where the doctor prescribed some medicine for me. So we'll see. How's everyone doing with your walking and staying on your feet and all that? Doing good with it? You still walking a lot, Clarence? 4 miles?
Sometimes 5.
So you get almost 10,000 a day?
That's 10. I have done 10,000 several times.
You have? Okay, good. Well, keep it up. How about you, David? You doing okay with your walking? You doing some walking? Do you need to ask your mom if you're doing walking or not? How about your lifting weights? Do you have little weights you can use? Would you do it if you had some? Would you do it if you had some? He lifts weights 3 times a week? Okay.
They have a gym.
And you go there?
Yeah. We have to pay for it, but.
Yeah. Okay, and you're using it?
Yeah.
Well, if you're paying for it, make sure you use it. That's good. Yeah. Okay, I think from this I'm going to make about 40 videos. I made 43 from last month's session, and I've made little playlists. I've got about 5 of them. They're 5 to 7 videos, and I need to make another playlist from that. And you can watch these things, just little sections, up to 1 minute. And most of them are 30 seconds to 1 minute. And that's what I'm going to have this time. So I think you'll find it to be very beneficial and helpful for you. And next month, we're going to start getting into food. And I'm going to make a little video of it also, and hopefully that can help. So the most I had of the little videos that were watched was 413 times was one of them. Another one I had 376. Had another one that was close to that. Several others in the 300s. Several in the 200s. Several in the hundreds. And I had some less than 100. But it all worked out. And I built 10 new subscribers out of it. So I went from 24 subscribers to 34 subscribers. And hopefully it's going to keep growing and building. And I can help more and more people this way. So I guess I'm through. If you guys don't have any more questions or comments or thoughts or anything, then we'll consider it done and over with till next month. Be sure and be back for that, okay? What in the world?
Yeah. Well, thanks. Is that it?
That was it. All you have to do is stand up now, Roger. Stand up and walk to your vehicle.
Yeah. It's getting darker earlier, so thank goodness be careful
Hey, the days are getting longer.
and longer, yeah.
Yeah, they're getting longer.
I just hate it at nighttime when we got the deer or the coyotes running out there, so I'm like.
Well, I hope you're going to make it home safely.
And I wear glasses because if I don't, it's blurry.
Yeah.
But,
Well, you guys going to try to come this Sunday?
oh yeah, we're gonna
Okay.
come Sunday.
Okay, you coming, Ann?
I'm doing
Yeah.
it. I'm
Okay.
doing
Good.
Yeah.
again. I
Huh?
have to do it every other Sunday.
Yeah.
Because we got clothing house, and then if we go to the gym, that's gonna be another extra.
Okay, I'll try to have a good talk for you to hear.
Then my car's got 219,000 miles on it, so.
Is that right?
Yeah, so I have to be very careful, do my oil change.
Yeah, keep the maintenance up on that thing, and maybe it'll last another 100.
I might have to,
Yeah,
get another car
Yeah.
later, so.
yeah.
To keep going.
If you had one place you'd like to go back to, where would you go?
I like go back. I like Branson,
Branson?
Missouri.
David, how's the fasting going? You still fasting?
Actually, I went to saw my doctor today.
Yeah.
And what
I
happened?
lost weight.
And you lost weight officially.
I lost weight.
good.
You
Can't be from doing anything else but fasting.
I know.
Exercise has nothing to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
Because that place will kill you.
But I thought it was
Yeah.
the reason that I lost weight over the
Good
holidays.
seed.
Fantastic.
That's pretty good.
That is good.
Yeah.
Over the holidays, I gained weight, but I'm back to fasting. I tried to fast, I did it last night. The night before I got too low. I had to break my fast.
Okay, yeah.
Well, did you gain back, but you didn't gain back more than you'd lost, did
No.
you? Okay.
No, I'm still
You're still on the
down.
down side.
I'm still on the downside.
Good.
But it just took me a few days to get back to where I was.
Yeah.
But that didn't help the night before last.
I'm
That was
still
very
doing my
interesting
same
about
job.
once you get to that 10,000
Yeah, on the
steps
west
a
side of
day,
town.
then your blood,
Yeah.
it stays.
Over close to
Yeah,
the
that
sound.
helps. It actually helps. I was glad I found some research that actually helped. I thought it was just a flowery number out there.
Oh,
But there is some research about it. So, and that's
about
good.
why that is the magic
Of
number.
why that is a magic number. That's right. But maybe 15,000 is better. Who knows? I just can't get that. Not now. Not in this kind of weather.
Oh, I know, this is.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I hope so
So how's
too.
the family?
Yeah, I've been
Everyone's
blessed in
doing
my
well.
life.
Yeah.
I'll be,
Yeah, we're going to have another
78 this year. I mean, I'm not
grandchild
getting any younger.
at the end of February.
Compared to some of the people I
Just
see.
around the
Most
corner.
of the-
So we'll be going over there in
most of the people I see.
March to see, and Debbie's going to stay over there for a week.
Where does he live?
They live by Eureka Springs,
Oh, okay.
Arkansas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty country.
Yeah, beautiful country there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a nice place to
It's
go.
kind of like.
I
To see the
know.
scenery.
David's family's from West Virginia. We'd go back every year.
Oh, yeah, that's,
So they could see the grandparents, and it was like, well, it's nice that they live someplace that's so pretty to go visit.
that's right.
You just want to stay.
You don't live out there in Abilene, Texas or somewhere, you know,
Oh, we've
mesquite
been to
trees.
Abilene.
Yeah, my sister used to live in Abilene. So
Oh, no, really?
we visited Abilene lots
But
of
actually,
times.
Abilene was pretty compared to Monahan, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Monahan,
Then
where's
she moved to
that?
Monahan.
It's out in the oil country, and it's about
You
4 hours.
keep going past Odessa for like
Yeah.
40
Oh,
miles,
wow.
50 miles.
Dude, that's me.
So-
Abilene was far enough for me. I went to school in Abilene,
Oh, okay.
Abilene Christian University.
Oh, they have a
Yeah.
pretty campus.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, they do.
So,
Yeah.
we actually, we go out to
Yeah, it
eat, we go to the zoo, we go to little museums and stuff around.
This was your sister living there, or his sister?
My sister.
Your sister. And she
She's-
moved?
She's back in Oklahoma now. She lives in Midwest City now.
Oh.
Before I got on.
Pretty easy to go visit now.
Yeah, after she retired from her job down there, she moved back up here.
Okay.
And started working up here.
Sure. Yeah, that happens.
That's me.
Man, that looks dangerous.
I was down there in Fort Worth back in September. I went down,
All right.
I rode the Heartland
Yeah,
in September,
yeah.
and did you get to see it? That's me.
And the,
Oh, a
no,
longhorn. That's a.
he's on
those
a
are some
longhorn.
Pretty awesome horns.
Yeah.
Is this down by the stockyards?
Yeah, it's at the stockyard. Well, it's in the
It
stockyard.
was in the
Are you?
stockyard. Okay.
That's not real, is it?
It is real.
Oh, come on.
Some people said it wasn't real. I said, I was kind of scared to get on that thing.
Okay, well, I guess it was real.
It was real, Ken.
Hey, glad you guys made it tonight.
Yeah, that-
Thanks for coming. It motivates me. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess I'll. Yeah, I hope you have a good night, Ken.
Yeah, I hope you do too.